quest for gender parity at work, pay has remained one of the issues most shrouded in secrecy. However, Citigroup has become the first big Wall Street bank to reveal its pay gap. It says its female workers in the U.S., Germany, and the U.K. are paid 99% of what their male co-workers earn. The results have been adjusted for factors including job function, level, and location. And Citigroup says it is working to close the pay gap that remains. My next guest has called the disclosure a tipping point for Wall Street. Natasha Lamb is a managing partner at Arjuna Capital, an activist shareholder that has been pushing banks and tech firms to publish information on gender and pay, and she joins me now. Natasha, so nice to see you again.
Nice to see you.
So this is a big deal that Citigroup agreed to go along with this.
It's a really big deal. It's a win for Citigroup, who understands that attracting and retaining top talent through paying women and minorities fairly is so important. It's a tipping point for the financial services industry and the big banks who have been so slow to move here. We've been engaging them for over a year now, and it is a big win for investors who understand there's a business case for change, and that if you can engender greater diversity, then you will get the performance benefits that affords. And then it's a big win for Citi's employees who got a raise on Monday.
Yes, very important. Then, it's funny that they were hesitant, because when you look at that headline, 99%, it seems like pretty good progress. Does that tell the whole story? And do you expect that we're going to see that similar number across the financial industry, or is Citi an outlier on that?
I think it's something that Citi has been working on over time. This isn't the first time that we've flagged it,
Yes.
certainly. So I expect that there's been some work that's been done behind the scenes, and certainly we saw further work that was done on Monday to give women and minorities a raise. I think that, what I've heard, again, just in talking with different companies, there has been concern about what the numbers look like. And I think that a number that is adjusted for, job title, et cetera, where it's really kind of an equal pay for equal work number, is more attractive, and they've been working to improve it. I think the big thing is that by April of this year, the banks, Citigroup, JP Morgan, Bank of America, are going to have to report their median pay gap in the UK. And so far what we've seen from the banks there is that the gap's about 24%. Now that does not adjust for job titles. So what it really reflects is a structural deficit that, despite the fact in financial services, women make up more than 50% of employees. They represent far fewer, of the higher paying leadership roles, and that's why you see such a big gap. And we really believe that if you can address the pay gap in general, you will move more women, more minorities into positions of leadership, and get the performance benefits that affords.
And I think it's important. Your firm has been pushing. You started in technology, had some of the bigger firms finally agree after pushing for a while, moving into the financial services now. It's important to keep making the economic case for this. You're investors. You want to make money for your clients. That getting that, not only that transparency, retaining the talent, does make them better investments.
You've got it. And Larry Fink from BlackRock made a splash this week saying that corporations have a social responsibility. Well, that's nothing new. I mean, we firmly believe that companies don't exist in a vacuum. They need to be responsible, create products and services that are helping society. Otherwise, why would we buy them? Be fair to their employees, be stewards of the environment, be good actors. You look at all the things that are happening in terms of sexual harassment lawsuits, et cetera. These are damaging to companies' brands, and
Yes.
They really need to be out front in order to, perform as we expect and as we'd like to see. Otherwise, what you do see is some value destruction. And so, Citi has stepped out front, which is fantastic.
And I assume, and we are hoping that their peers follow suit. You mentioned sexual harassment. As I said, we've talked before. You've been doing this and on this campaign pushing from a shareholder point of view for a long time now. do you feel that the Me Too movement, that all the conversations, Time's Up, that we're seeing related to this, and not just harassment, but pay, equality, is helping move the needle on this now? Do you feel a momentum swing?
Oh, yeah. I don't think there's any question. You know, we don't operate in a vacuum. We're applying direct pressure at the companies in terms of, you know, putting a proxy measure on the ballot. But there's other pressures. There's regulatory pressure abroad. There's the Me Too movement. Time's Up. Women are speaking out in a way they never have before. And I think companies would be foolish not to act at this point.
Especially in a time when retaining your top talent and keeping those females in the pipeline is going to benefit everybody. So a win-win.
Yes.
Natasha, thank you so much. Congratulations on Citigroup. Let's hope it's the beginning of a wave on Wall Street. Let's hope we keep getting numbers like this, which actually look better than maybe some of us had feared.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Natasha.
Thank you, Maggie.